No one in the Galactic Council expected much when humanity first appeared on the interstellar stage. Compared to the towering warriors of the Karthan Empire and the ancient, hyper-intelligent Varelians, humans looked fragile. Their bodies were smaller, their ships were simple, and their technology was adequate at best. For decades, humanity remained on the edges of the galactic community, quiet traders, curious explorers, nothing more. Then the war began. The Karthan Empire had always believed strength was the only law worth following. When their fleets began conquering border systems, most civilizations surrendered quickly. No one wanted to fight the Karthans. Their soldiers were massive, their weapons brutal, and their reputation unstoppable. One by one, star systems fell. Worlds that had stood for thousands of years collapsed in a matter of weeks. The Galactic Council held emergency meetings, but there was little they could do. Their fleets were defensive, their people unprepared for total war. That was when humanity made an offer. A single human ambassador stood before the council chamber and spoke calmly. "Let us help." The chamber erupted in confusion. The Karthan fleets had crushed civilizations far more advanced than Earth. What could humans possibly do? The ambassador only smiled slightly. "You misunderstand us," he said. "Humans are not the strongest species in the galaxy." He paused, letting the silence grow. "But we are very good at fighting when it matters." The council hesitated, but desperation has a way of opening doors. Humanity was given permission to assist in the defense of a small border colony called Halvar Station. Most council members expected it to fall within hours. When the Karthan fleet arrived, their commanders barely considered the defenders a threat. Their warships surrounded the station like predators circling prey. Inside the Karthan flagship, the warlord Draxus studied the human fleet on his tactical display. 12 ships, small. Poorly armored, he laughed. "Destroy them," he ordered. But the battle did not go the way he expected. The first human ship didn't retreat when the Karthan weapons fired. Instead, it accelerated straight toward the enemy formation. Then it exploded, not by enemy fire, by design. The detonation tore through 2 Karthan cruisers before their shields could react. Draxus stared in disbelief. What kind of species uses its own ships as weapons? Before anyone could answer, the rest of the human fleet attacked. They moved unpredictably, ignoring the elegant battle formations used by most galactic navies. Human pilots flew like they had something to prove, weaving through enemy fire, targeting weak points, sacrificing position for damage. Another human ship rammed a Karthan destroyer, crippling both vessels. Fighters swarmed larger ships like angry insects, striking engines, sensors, and weapon mounts. Within minutes, the Karthan fleet found itself fighting an enemy that did not behave logically. Humans didn't retreat when they were outgunned. They adapted. When their weapons failed, they improvised. When their ships were damaged, they turned them into traps. And when they were cornered, they kept fighting. Hours later, the battlefield around Halvar Station was filled with drifting wreckage. Most of it Karthan. The surviving Karthan ships retreated for the first time in decades. Across the galaxy, observers struggled to understand what they had just witnessed. Humanity had not won through superior technology. They had not won through strength. They had won through something far more dangerous: determination. Weeks later, the Karthan Empire attempted another assault, this time with 3 times the fleet. They were met by human forces again. But now, the galaxy was watching, and something had changed. Other civilizations had seen what humans were capable of. They saw a species that refused to surrender. A species that would fight long after logic said they should stop. Slowly, allies began joining the human fleets. Because there was something terrifying about humans in war. Not their weapons, not their ships, but their mindset. Humans didn't fight because they believed they would win. They fought because someone had to stand in the way. And once, humanity decided to stand their ground. The galaxy learned a lesson the Karthan Empire would never forget. Never underestimate a species that evolved on a world where survival itself was a daily battle. Because if humans had learned anything from their brutal home planet, it was how to keep fighting when everyone else had already given up.